When you're ready.
Hi, today I'll be discussing how fear and decision-making impacts leadership. Fear can cloud one's judgment and impact one's decision-making skills because of fear of failure, negative evaluation, and thoughts of unfavorable consequences. To be a good leader and decision maker, one needs to be stable in a professional setting and obtain a controlled mindset throughout performance. Additionally, leaders in small environments are susceptible to high stress, causing poor performance in work. For this reason, it is important to find a strategy for obtaining mental calmness and stability when making a decision. After conducting my research, I concluded that fear causes insufficient performance and obtains overwhelming properties, so yes, fear does negatively impact decision making and unfavorably influences performance in work, thus making it difficult to obtain a leadership position. Making decisions often triggers stress and fear, a natural response in humans. Senior teacher Nazarov from the International Islamic University of Uzbekistan and Associate Professor Mitina from Lomonosov Moscow State University researched various decision-making scenarios with the addition of fear and its impact on mental health. Their research highlights how sudden and uncontrollable emergencies lead to excessive overthinking and anxiety, causing intellectual distress in casual work environments. Additionally, Mohammed Pothakani, Shana Kandran, and Anaya Nair, while at CMR University in Bangalore, India, explored the connection between fear, decision-making, and mental health. They found that decision-making has been linked to adverse outcomes for well-being, including feelings of depression, guilt, shame, or decreased levels of life satisfaction and happiness due to the negative evaluation and fear of failure. Throughout history, leaders have specifically stood out because of their strong decision-making that benefited others in times of dismay. Pothakani and his team discuss FNE, fear of negative evaluation. When one is in a high role of leadership, others are relying on singular decisions that they make, meaning that there is always a chance for a wrong decision made in the eyes of others. Eloise Cobell, a member of Montana's Blackfeet tribe, fought against the U.S. government because of the financial mistreatments of the Native Americans. The U.S. government would take oil from their lands and pay them close to nothing. After years of fighting in court, sharing stories of the victims around the United States, she won. Her story relates to the idea of FNE from Pothakani and his team because of the questions that her choices made. Was she making the right decision? And what would be the reaction from the U.S. government and the natives themselves? She prioritized, made goals, and maintained a controlled mental state throughout her decisions, making her a good, decisive decision maker and a strong leader. Pothakani and his team discussed the consequences of FNE during decision making by stating, fear of negative evaluation and decision making are two crucial factors that can significantly influence performance and well-being. Fear can obscure one's sense of rationality because of anxiety and hyper-focused tendencies that it causes. Forgetfulness and distraction from one's work are side effects of fear, especially when there's a large decision at hand. Nazarov and Mitina researched the products of fear within a casual workplace environment. They state, the action of extreme factors leads to the emergence of negative mental states in the subject of labor, which adversely reflect the regulation of activity and reduce its efficiency and reliability. At the same time, the workers do not even realize that there's a decrease in quality of their performance. This statement from their study supports the idea of fear and decision-making and how it can interfere with one's performance or any form of action. High-stress situations often benefit from goal setting when making significant decisions, whether on a national or business scale. John Rothman and Marco Ferdner research goals in decision-making and emphasize both their motivational value and their potential pitfalls when they are avoided. Ferdner and Rothman state, goals may provide a motivational basis for self-regulation and focus on a specific final state that is needed to be achieved. Nazarov and Mitina add that decision-making depends on various factors like psychological traits, problem complexity, individual constraints, environment, decision volume, and social attitudes. Effective organization plays a crucial role in achieving obtainable goals. Take Franklin Delano Roosevelt, for example. whose leadership during the Great Depression showcased the power of strategic goal setting towards a positive change. Roosevelt's success underscores the importance of effective goal setting and how we need to find a reliable solution for everyone to ensure that decisions are made in successful ways. Alice Boyes, a doctorate of psychology at the University of Canterbury, has suggestions on how to overcome fear in decision making. She states to use emotional agility skills, focus on your processes, and broaden your thinking, recognize the value of leisure, and detach from judgment clouding noise. These recommendations from Boyes can relax the mind and make decision making a lot easier in the casual workplace or in a bigger scale. However, each person across the world has different reactions to fear. Her suggestions can work with some, but not all. So it is important to take into consideration how one's minds work and not solely rely on something that works for someone else. In essence, researchers have discovered that a correlation between fear and decision making. Fear can directly impact one's outlook and of future choices' consequences while influencing their personal performance. FNE impacts many through life, but leaders like Eloise Cobalt and FDR show perseverance and can be role models for others. Although there are negative attributes to this connection, there are also positives mentioned. Healthy goal setting can be positive when used correctly, but when they're avoided, it can make a lot of things harder. Focusing on a process, thinking outside the box, and pushing back the thoughts of others can make decision making a lot easier in life. Thank you.
What information did you need you were not able to find or locate?
I was trying to find some things like within schools or like smaller communities of failure within decision making. I think that since they're in a smaller community, it was just harder to find, and I couldn't really find any examples on that. Like in a smaller workplace, which I was trying to focus on a little bit with my sources that I mentioned. So.
Okay, thank you. How was your conclusion in conversation with the body of literature or other research sources that you examined?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure.
Please?
So how was your conclusion in conversation with the experts and resources you examined?
My conclusion was similar to many. So my final source for my solution was Alice Boyes, and she focused a lot on relaxing the mind and just getting away from the judgment thoughts of others. And in a lot of my sources, they mentioned that it is helpful to relax and just be in a personal space when making a big decision. So my conclusion is very similar to those I've researched.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you.